Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Barbas223. If you guys don't know me, well, I am going to be doing the new patch notes that just came out a few days ago. This is my first time reading them, so if, we're going to kind of read them together. It's basically what's going to happen. I know there's some new sets, some new changes to PvP and procs and whatnot, so we're going to go through it together. Again, this is my first time going through it as well, so bear with me. I'm just going to give my opinion. I'm going to say what I think of the changes that are coming, and basically if I think they're good, bad, ugly, you know the drill. But as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for all the support you guys have been giving me. We're at 750 subs, so I guess let's get to 800, and let's just get into it. So we have two new dungeons. That's pretty typical of a new update, is we're going to get some new dungeons, which means new item sets. So here we go. So the first one is Dread Cellar. You get magic, mag recovery, weapon and spell damage, and then when you do damage with a full heavy attack, you get the imbued aura for 10 seconds, giving you and your group members 300 recovery. That is nice. Every 20 seconds, if you deal damage with a full heavy attack with this active, you consume it and give you guys weapon and spell damage. So this is actually pretty interesting. It's weird though, because if you use a heavy attack, you get the recovery, but then if you heavy attack again, you lose the recovery, and then you then get spell damage. So it's a little bit weird. I don't know if once you use another heavy attack, the recovery goes away, or if you get the recovery and then you do another heavy attack and you get the spell damage, and then you get the recovery and the spell damage. But I guess we'll see when the time comes. The way they worded it is a bit weird, but it is an interesting set. If you're a healer, it might be really, really good. I would like this to put on my healer or support class, even on a warden, a necro, like that'd be pretty sweet. So yeah. So Rush of Agony. Jeez, I'm worried about this one. So you get recovery, weapon and spell damage, offensive penetration, and when you deal damage with a blink, a charge, a leap, any gap closer, you pull all other enemies within 10 meters to you. Okay, that's interesting. After 2 seconds, you deal physical damage to all these enemies within 7 meters. This can occur every 8 seconds, and it scales off of your highest thing, and it also doesn't consume the CC immunity. Oh man, okay. Now the reason this is so good is because, if you guys know, Necro, their armor, Summoner's armor, or whatever that one is, that beckoning armor that pulls people when they hit you from range, that consumes the CC, and so does chains on DK, which I think they should change it, but you know what, whatever. If they're going to allow this to not consume the CC, then neither should those. That's just my opinion. But what I will say is, this is really going to be nasty on a Necromancer, because if you use a Blast Bones and then you pull, like uh, go to them, it's going to pull everyone else in, and the Blast Bones is going to hit a large group. Also, it's going to be good on really any AoE focused class, so a Warden as well. If you use a gap closer and you go in, it pulls everybody in, you hit them with a Dawnbreaker, you're going to hit all those people with a Dawnbreaker, and you will stun them with the Dawnbreaker because the set doesn't use your CC. So that's crazy. So imagine using Crit Rush, it pulls everybody in around you, you have everybody near you, you use Dawnbreaker, you get to stun off, you use Reverse Slice, and you AoE nuke them. Really good. There we go, look. We expect to see a lot of power from this set without applying CC. We experimented both without the CC and with it. It felt challenging to engage with your goal to keep everyone clumped up, but you couldn't do it. With no CC immunity, we hope there's enough time to get out before you get hit with a big stun like Dawnbreaker, see? Makes sense. Okay, interesting. Okay, interesting. So it's not stunning them because they want to give people enough time to get away. But so maybe it will be okay. But anyways, we'll move on. Crimson Oath Thrive. So you get armor, max health, and armor. But when you use an ability that applies a minor or major buff to yourself or an ally, you send out a wave of energy that reduces the armor of enemies around by 3,500. Now this is pretty sick because you're literally going to have this up at all times. It's pretty much more pen, right? If you want to, it's think about it this way. It's essentially more penetration. It's really that simple. I think this is going to be a really good set because Spinners is light armor, and it gives 3,300 whatever pen, which is good. But this set right here is heavy armor. So being able to run a more tanky spec, so you can go armor, health, and armor, be more tanky, but also get that extra pen. I know it's not actually penetration, but it is. It's the same thing. You're reducing their armor. So it's pretty much spinners but the heavy armor tanky version. So I'm gonna use this set 100% at some point. Um, I'm gonna use this at some point. So I think I like that. So the next one is Magma Incarnate, a monster set. So you get both recoveries, which is cool. And then when you heal yourself or a group member with a single target ability, you grant your lowest group member minor courage and minor resolve, giving them damage and armor. So then after this for 10 seconds, it will then bounce to another group member up to 3 times, applying minor courage. Alright, let me just explain this simply. When you heal somebody, it's going to give them damage and armor for 10 seconds. After that 10 seconds, it's going to go to another teammate. After that seconds, it's going to go to another teammate. It's basically just going to happen all the time. This is a great set. This is going to be very, 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 very good. I'm going to use this too, probably at some point, just to test it out. I think that's very, very good, especially because of this right here. The Daedric Energy will also always prioritize lower health group members, so that is really, really sick, that it's able to target people automatically that need it the most. So that's going to be a really good set, I think. I like these so far. I do. But anyways, we'll move on. Thundercaller. So you get penetration, you get weapon and spell damage, and again, you get weapon and spell damage. So another heavy attack set. So when you do a fully charged heavy, you do a bolt of lightning at your target, dealing shock damage and leaving a crater in the ground for 6 seconds, dealing damage every second. This can occur every 12 seconds and scales, blah, blah, blah. So for 6 seconds, every 12 seconds, so automatically there's a 6-second downtime. So if there's a 6-second downtime, I could imagine this set hitting hard because they don't, if it's an uptime of 100%, the damage is probably going to be lower, kind of like Unleashed pretty much. And if the damage is higher, it's going to probably be, be a lower downtime, so it makes sense. I think this is very interesting. I like this one. If you play on a Sork heavy attack build, this is going to be cool, because you're going to just get the nice, pretty much every other heavy attack, every couple heavy attacks, you're going to get this proc. So that's pretty cool. I think that's interesting. Also, another cool thing, it's because it's nice that it's a range thing. So it's kind of like Calirians, I guess you could say. And it's range, because you could literally heavy attack, even with a DK, like a heavy attack DK. I think this would be interesting. But yeah, I mean, we don't know how much damage it does yet, so. Now this set here, I heard someone told me about this one. It's kind of funny. It's like a food thing. Grizzly Gourmet. So you get stam, damage, penetration, and more stam. That's cool. And then when you deal light attack damage, you get a stack of Baker's Delight. What the heck is this? When you gain 3 stacks, so you do 3 light attack, you create a sweet roll next to your target for 5 seconds. What is going on? If you or an ally touches the sweet roll, both you and the ally get one of the effects. What? Restore 1,500 health, magic, and stam. Okay. Gain in power, gain major force. Every 2 seconds? What the heck is this set? Why is it a set about food? A sweet roll? What? Alright. Actually, it's a decent set. It's pretty cool, to be honest. The major force is a really good one. So, like a stam Nightblade, this could be a nice set. But it's just weird. And also nice that you get the extra 5-piece on stam at the end, so you get a lot of damage from this set. I mean, you get 1,500 stam, and you get spell damage or weapon damage and penetration. So this is a good one, just for the 4-piece, even the 5-piece, whatever. But this is just freaking weird. I don't even know what to say about it. So Silver Rose Vigil, you get stam, health, stam, and when you block, I don't really care about this one. That's stupid. Monster Mask. Weapon and spell damage, and then dealing damage with an AoE creates a shadowy whirlwind. Oh god, more whirlwind. Within the whirlwind, you take physical damage and increase their damage taken from AoEs by 5%. Pretty much gonna help your AoE damage. Imagine spamming whirlwind with your whirlwind freaking monster set. Like, ew. Like, really? That's going to be solid though. It's going to be a nice one, especially on a class like a Warden or a Necro that just does hella AoE damage. So that's going to be cool. So this is, I heard about this too. So PvP campaigns, then the existing no CP and an IC will be no procs, which makes 0 sense to me. They expand the number of sets. We get that, right? Yeah. So this is the original, as you guys probably remember, is like nothing allowed in the game. The following sets will now function right now. So pretty much they're adding some. I'm trying to see if there's any that I recognize. Relics of Physician, that's different. Alteration Mastery wasn't in there before. Valiant wasn't in there before, I don't think. I don't know if Twilight's Embrace was. Way of the Arena, I don't think so. Willow's Path definitely wasn't in there. Way of the Air, I don't think so. So, nothing too crazy, but of course, not everything's going to be allowed. How I could see it is they're just going to get rid of the cheesy sets. I mean, I'm reading it and I don't see any of the quote-unquote cheesy sets. So, like, this is pretty standard and used a lot. Seducer's used. I don't see anything like Unleashed or all that stuff. So honestly, I'm not. I mean, Pariah's in there. So Jesus Christ, here we go. So Shield Breaker is a good set. Silks of the Sun used to be good like freaking 20 years ago. Savara 4-piece, so you won't be able to use the 5-piece of Savara. Taurugs is going to be allowed. That should have been allowed anyways. Witch Knights is a nice one, and Yazgrimor. So I always liked this set. Yazgrimor, I don't even know how to say it, but it just increases your frost damage. But like, because that might be good next update because they're changing frost. I heard, so I'll read that in a second. But oh, they'll also be disabling Volendrung. Ew, why are they doing that to no CP? Think about it. Why the heck would they do that? CP is already a ghost town. Why are they going to do it even more? It makes no sense. I don't know. Honestly, I think they should have just kept like the Minior Mayhem extra campaigns to give people a choice. But you know what? Whatever. I usually play BGs or I play Imperial City though. That's why it kind of sucks. I don't know. It is what it is. But no CP just doesn't get any love. I swear to God. Yeah, I don't like CP to be honest because I feel like it's so crutchy. Like you can just be carried by your CP. But you know, I'm just not going to complain. It is what it is. Here's a big one right here. This is one of the biggest changes. They did a spoiler, I'll read it, but they increased the damage taken reduction from Battle Spirit up to 55 from 44. So you're literally everyone gets an 11% damage mitigation automatically now, even more than it was. So if they states revamp with Pariah and this and all this, that, and the other, it's going to be terrible. But after the recent adjustments to base character, blah blah blah, we've seen a significant shift in the meta. People just hit hard. That's basically what they're saying. That's really that simple. They're just saying that people hit hard as hell. So it's not really that much different. It's just you take less damage. It's weird. I don't know. It's going to be weird. It's going to be actually very frustrating if you run Misform and all that different cheesy stuff. It's going to be really hard to kill anyone. So they're changing some of the passives as well. Pretty much what I'm getting out of this is that they're making it equal pretty much to Stam and Magic. They're trying to even it out. So basically like trying to make them, you know, reflective of one another, which is fine. Saying like Dawn, for example, Dawnbreaker is going to give the weapon and spell damage now. So they're just trying to make it like, if I'm a Magic build, I guess I could hypothetically run, you know, medium, or if I wanted to. Because agility now grants weapon and spell damage. So you're going to get a crap ton of freaking spell damage from running medium armor, which is weird. That's going to be cool, actually. It's very, very interesting, if we're being honest. So we'll move on, though. It's not anything crazy. It's going to be a lot of testing more than anything. So they're changing stealth a little bit. Pretty much they're adjusting many player abilities and no longer attempt to remove stealth when they shouldn't. So basically they're trying to help Nightblades a little bit. Now, although they help Nightblades, I'm pretty sure they did something with one of the skills in the assault tree or support tree that makes it Nightblades kind of screwed. So I guess we'll see. But I do like the fact that Nightblades aren't going to be pulled out of stealth as easy, because it really should have been that way in the first place. Pretty much. Here we go. Prove consistency. Yeah, they're just trying to make it better. I like it. Although Nightblades are freaking annoying, it should have happened So pretty much just fixing bugs here. I see. Here's the big change as well. So backlash, Dawn's Wrath, backlash, power of the light. Basically, it's going to hit harder. It's that simple. This ability and its morph now do 50% of the damage you deal rather than 20, so it's literally doing 30% more damage. And it's going to hit a lot harder in PvP. Let's just so you guys know, it's going to be a good skill. It's going to be a really, really good one. Um, you know, it's going to be a very good one. It's going to hit hard, guys. It's going to be in probably every Stam Templar build now. So Radiant Destruction, they changed it a little bit. It's not really going to be much different. It's pretty much just an execute multiplier, just like Executioner is. So this here, you get longer major mending rather than 3 seconds. It's 4. Frozen Gate, who cares? It's trash. Here's another big change, I think. Destruction Staff, yeah. So basically, they're buffing the Lightning Staff and Flame Staff like passives. So, for example, Lightning Staffs to 5 to 10% off for 4 and 8. So yeah, for example, AoE things. Like when you have a Lightning Staff, you do 8% extra damage with AoE. Now it's going to be 10%. So that's really cool. On top of that, I'm pretty sure Flame Staffs do 8% extra damage to single target ability, so now it's going to be 10%. They're basically trying to make it equal to Stamina with dual wield and heavy weapons. So makes sense. I like that. It makes sense. Good change. Sorry if there was a little weird thing there. My mic died for a second. I had to plug it in. But anyways, so Destructive Touch is getting a change. It's pretty cool actually. So basically based on the morph that you have, it's going to guarantee that it hits a respective element type. So if you have Flame, it's going to apply Burning. If you have Lightning, it's going to apply Concuss. And if you have Frost, it's going to do Minor Maim or Brittle. I forget how it works exactly, but it makes the cost more now. Has 1 meter extra range, but this is the one I like. The Frost Touch and Reach now do 80% more damage. So basically, they're giving Frost a chance to do DPS with this skill. Now, my instant thought is, well, let's think about it. You're going to do a bunch of damage when you have... Now you can run a Master Ice Staff. So that is pretty sick, to be honest. And I think that's really, really nice. Now here is crazy too. The Frost version of this ability still remains tank focused rather than DPS focused, and as such has received a cost reduction. So it also applies Major Maim. So I'm thinking, if it's tank focused and it still does 80% more damage, and you're lowering the cost, if I run this in PvP, I'm going to apply Major Maim to people? That's what I'm wondering here. That's weird, because Destructive Clench, if I'm not mistaken, is the one that applies the status effect. It's the one that'll immobilize people. So if you run Frost, it's going to be cheaper. It's going to hit 80% harder and apply Major Maim. It seems a little OP if that's the case. Maybe I'm mistaken. Let me know down below, but we'll see. Here we go. Look at this. With the introduction of the Frostbite set, we saw a lot of discussion on the viability of Frost sets and their main drawback. Regardless, there was no Frost damage ability that could be used as a spam. Rather than bloating those sets further, we decided to let Frost Touch stand out. Frost Touch and Reach now deal range spammable damage on initial hit. Additionally, Frost Clench has been missing the mark for being viable compared to Puncture, so we decided to amp it up by introducing Major Maim, also reducing the cost. The changes to this ability also help gain a form of on-demand minor brittle, helping both DPS and tanks out. I'm already thinking of a build in my head, to be honest, guys. Frostbite might be a really good one to run. This is crazy. So you're going to be able to apply minor brittle on demand with this skill. That's 10% crit damage. If you run Khajiit, also, you don't even have to run Khajiit. It doesn't matter. But this is going to be good. Actually, I think this is going to be really good. So, oh man, there's a lot of things you could do with this. I'm already thinking about it. Yaskamore is going to be viable now, like I was saying earlier, but it doesn't apply to your bugs, so I don't know, but maybe use Icy Conjurer, because that's also ice. But I'm thinking of using a Master Frost staff maybe. I could use Master Frost staff. You could run Pariah. You could run Frostbite. It's just very, very interesting here. I'm going to try something with this. I don't know exactly what to do, but this is very, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So I'll see what happens with this. I'm interested in this. I'm going to make a build with this. I don't know when this update comes out, guys. I'll check when I go to the top, but that's good. So basically, let me see here. Just fixing bugs. They changed this a little bit. Nothing crazy. Nothing that I really care about. Cleave, but Cleave is stupid. Who cares? Brawlers. Clear winner in terms of morph options. It scales far more effectively. Okay. Vamp. Who cares about Vamp? Drain. Stupid. Pretty much making this equivalent to Mage Light. Here we go. Fire Rune now is... Oh no, Mage Light. Here we go. Yeah, so Inner Light now reveals enemies around you. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. Now here's another one. This passive no longer grants major protection, but instead applies a unique 30% damage mitigation. Now this is a very good change as well. The stamina morph of Imbue Weapon is going to apply major breach, so you can literally actually use this as a spammable if you want to, or just use it as your debuff, so you don't need the one-hand and shield anymore. You could just throw this on your bar and run that. So that's very interesting. Magic of Detonation pretty much does less damage. Revealing Flare is going to be OP. This is crazy. So not only does it prevent stealth, but if you have it on your bar, you get major protection. So I can see pretty much every single person running that on their bar. Why wouldn't you? Why would you not run that on your bar? You get major protection at all times. That just seems silly to not run. Literally getting major protection at all times. Like, that is crazy. That's crazy. That just seems crazy. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm going to run it, so I'm not going to complain. But, shoot. Pelinal's got changed. Okay. So, it now called Pelinal's Wrath. It now grants a damage shield. What? When you kill an enemy, and you also get 100 spell damage and weapon damage, but then you also take 1% of your max health as oblivion damage? 10 stacks match, so you can be taking 10%? What? That seems like trash. Why would you run that? I mean, I guess essentially, hypothetically, you can get 10,000 or 1,000 spell damage, but you're also going to be taking a bunch of oblivion damage. I don't know about that. That seems really silly, honestly. Pretty much just changing the way procs function a little bit, but it's nothing really crazy. Again, just changing the way things function, it looks like. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything really crazy. Veldrith will keep going rather than exploding when it hits. They changed a few sets. The Sith's touch doesn't have anything to do with the blade of woe anymore. It's now movement speed when you get a kill. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I don't really see anything else that seems relevant. But interesting. Very, very interesting. Maybe renaming Mid-Year Mayhem. I don't. Why do we care? I want the game to work correctly. I don't want to rename Mid-Year Mayhem. So what do I look like? Blah 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 blah. Okay. Let's go to the top. Let's see. Doesn't say when this comes out, does it? No, it doesn't look like it does. Oh, here we go. We hope that you, which is approximately blah blah blah. Doesn't say when it comes out, does it? I don't think it doesn't say when it comes out. Whatever. I think it's coming out soon. So it's very, very interesting. I don't know. Overall, I think it's some good changes. I think it's going to be frustrating because I really do think people are going to be literally unkillable. But you know what? That is ESO, right? So I also don't like the no proc thing and no CP because that's the only thing I play. So what am I supposed to do? I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. But let me know what you think down below about these changes. I don't know. I really don't know. I see some good things and some bad things. I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. But as always, guys, I appreciate the support. And this set right here is very interesting. This is going to be good on a Warden if you run Frostbite and this. That's going to be... just saying. Stunning or immobilizing, which is what Frost Clench does. It applies chilled and does 26% of the resistance to enemies around them. So if you use Frostbite, you use the Ice Master Staff, or you... oh man, it's going to be interesting. But anyways, that ain't my point. So let me know what you think down below, guys. And I appreciate the support. Let's get to 800 subs. Thank you so much. Have a good one. And as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.